Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to do the comparison of two mid-range smartphones, the Motorola Moto G 2015 or the third generation with the Samsung Galaxy J5. So these two phones were announced very recently, and both are available online via Flipkart in India, and these two devices have very similar specs. So let's do a detailed comparison on which is better for this price point. So before we go into the detailed aspect, let's have a quick look at the specs. So first up, we have this Motorola Moto G third generation. So this comes with a 5-inch HD display, the same HD display which was powering the G2, and it has the Snapdragon 410 quad-core chipset with 2GB RAM. There is also 1GB RAM variant, and it also comes with 16GB internal storage. And apart from that, there is an upgrade from the 8 megapixel to the 13 megapixel rear camera with dual LED flash, and also a front facing 5 megapixel camera. On the software front, this runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop, that's the latest version, and it also has a 2400 milliampere battery. So that was the spec aspect of the Moto G. Now moving on to the Samsung Galaxy J5. This is another mid-range smartphone from Samsung. So this has similar specs to that of Moto G3. It has again a 5-inch HD display. This is an AMOLED, Super AMOLED display, and it is powered by the same Snapdragon 410 quad-core chipset with 1.5GB RAM and 8GB internal storage. And this has again a 13 megapixel rear camera with LED flash. Then you also have a front facing 5 megapixel camera. Again this comes with a flash on the front facing camera. So this is selfie focus phone. And on the software front, this runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop, the same version as that of Moto G, with a custom UI from Samsung. This is the touch with UI. So that was the spec aspect of these two devices. So both these devices are in the mid-range category. So now let's go into the detailed aspect. First let's have a look at the design. So design wise, the Motorola Moto G3 comes with almost similar design aspects as that of the second generation. You can see not much of a change except for the rear panel, which has a really good finishing. It's a textured finish. You can see the camera, flash and the Motorola logo integrated together, giving it a good design elements. Now the build quality is also very good. The finishing and the rear panel looks pretty good. But having said that, the thickness of the device is pretty high, and the curved panel does give a great finishing and solid feel to the device, and it's pretty easy to hold as well. Now comparing it with the Samsung Galaxy J5, Samsung has employed the same design language as that of most of the mid-range Samsung phones, and you can see it has a curved edges. You can see this has a curved edges when compared to the Samsung Galaxy Grand Prime released last year. This has a curved edge, and you can see there is a chrome finishing all around the edges. But although this looks pretty decent in terms of the overall design and build quality, this chrome finishing doesn't look that premium. It gives a cheap finishing to the device. On the rear panel, you have the 13 megapixel camera, the LED flash, the Samsung logo, and even the rear panel isn't of that great quality when compared to the Motorola Moto G3. And it is a matte finish, so we would have liked a better build quality on the Samsung device. Also the design looks pretty outdated, and it's more or less similar to any Samsung device out there. And apart from that, you can see the Samsung has employed a physical home button, and you also have two capacitive touch buttons. They are not backlit, but the Motorola Moto G3 employs the on-screen button, very similar to the previous generation. So all in all, we would say in the design and build quality wise, we would say the Moto G3 is slightly better than the Samsung Galaxy J5. Although the Samsung Galaxy J5 is slimmer and lighter in weight, we would still go with the Moto G3 for its excellent build quality, and the rear panel gives it a pretty good feel to the device. Now talking about the display, this is one area there is a difference when compared to the display panels used. The Motorola Moto G3 has the IPS LCD panel. This is the same HD display, that's 1280 by 720p display with 294 pixels per inch, the same display. The touch response is pretty good, even the viewing angles are pretty decent, but the colors on the display looks pretty dull. The display is pretty warm, and you may not really like the colors on the display, especially when you're watching movies. Now comparing this with the Samsung Galaxy J5, this has an AMOLED, the Super AMOLED panel, and it's really vivid and colorful. So this kind of display most of the users like. It's really colorful, it's bright, and pretty good as well in terms of the overall quality. The viewing angles are also pretty good. It's again an HD display. Now one of the biggest issues with this device is that there is no ambient light sensor. on the J5. So whenever you're going out, you need to manually adjust the brightness. You can see there is an outdoor mode, so you need to adjust the brightness for better outdoor readability. The Motorola Moto G has this ambient light sensor, so it will adjust the display brightness according to the light conditions. So that is the display aspect, and we would say display quality, we would say the Samsung Galaxy J5 is better because it has a Super AMOLED display. It's pretty vibrant and colorful, but the downside is there is no ambient light sensor included on the J5. Now moving on to the software and performance. Both these devices run Android 5.1.1, that's the latest version of Android, that's the Lollipop. And while the Motorola Moto G3 comes with the stock Android experience, you can see this is a stock Android experience. So while a lot of users love the stock Android experience, it's pretty fluid as well, it's pretty smooth. You can see the notification center again is very similar to what we see on the stock Android. Motorola has included some gestures and options like the Moto display. You have the Moto Assist, Moto Migrate app. Then you also have IPX7 certification, that's water resistance. So these are some of the options included in the Motorola Moto G3, and the overall experience is pretty good. Multitasking is also pretty well implemented, and overall performance with the 2GB RAM variant. We are testing the 2GB RAM variant along with the 16GB variant. So that's one good thing. The performance looks pretty decent. Even the gaming experience was much better than the Samsung Galaxy J5, and we could play most of the games on the Motorola Moto G3, and overall performance we would say is pretty decent. It also offers 16GB internal storage when compared to the 8GB on the Samsung Galaxy J5. Now talking about the J5, this has the custom UI. This is the Samsung TouchWiz OS, and it does come with some of the apps pre-installed, some of the games are pre-installed, but not too many bloatwares are included, and the UI is the custom Samsung UI. It does offer a lot of customization as well. It's a simple and straightforward UI, but not too many users might like this UI. Many might like the stock Android experience on this Moto G3. So overall we would say the UI is pretty decent in this price point. It is pretty smooth as well, but the gaming performance was not really that good. With 1.5GB RAM and 8GB combo, it's very difficult to install too many games, because you can move apps to the SD card, but you cannot directly install apps on the SD card. That's one important aspect when you consider the storage. Motorola offers 16GB, while this has only 8GB. Although it's expandable, you cannot directly install apps on the SD card. You can move certain apps to the SD card using the option in the settings. So that's another issue. Now this also comes with options like themes. So if you like customization, there are lots of themes included. Here you can see there is a theme store, and you can download a lot of themes. And it also comes with additional options like battery saver mode. You can, if you look at the battery options, you can see there is the power saving mode as well as the ultra power saving mode, which gets you more battery. So these are some additional options included, and it also comes with EC mode. If you don't want the complex home screen, you can switch to EC mode, where you get only basic functions. So these options are included in the J5. So software wise, it's a pretty feature rich software, but the performance we would say Moto G3 is better here, because it has a stock experience along with 2GB RAM, so that makes better performance on the Motorola Moto G3. So overall in the software and performance, we would say the Moto G3 wins with the stock Android experience and better gaming and overall performance with a 2GB RAM and 16GB internal storage. So that was the software and performance side. Now let's move on to the camera. Now both these devices are equipped with a 13-megapixel rear camera with LED flash. The Motorola Moto G3 comes with a dual tone LED flash, while the Samsung Galaxy J5 has a single LED flash. Now the front camera, you can see Samsung has also included a front facing flash, so that's pretty useful for taking selfies in low light conditions. Now the camera interface, we would say the Samsung Galaxy J5 offers more options. You can see there is also pro mode, professional mode. That means you can have manual control on the settings. So you have panorama, continuous shot, beauty face, sound and shot, and also offers additional options in the form of filters. You can add filters also. Now the G3 interface is very simple. It's a straightforward interface. The only change with respect to the previous generation Moto G2 is that you have this additional exposure control in the viewfinder. You can also move this move this option to make the focusing. There is no touch to focus, and that might be an annoying issue at times, because you might find it difficult to focus close-up objects with the Motorola Moto G3. There is also an issue with focusing on the Samsung Galaxy J5. We have done the detailed camera review. You can check out the camera reviews of both these devices. Now talking about the camera samples, we would say the Motorola Moto G3 wins here with better colors, with better contrast ratios, and also the overall quality looks much better on the G3. The Samsung Galaxy J5 although has f1.9, the photos doesn't look that good. Also there is a haze effect on the photos, and it doesn't have that great sharpness when compared to the Motorola Moto G3. Now the front facing camera, again the Moto G3 is better here. If you're not using the flash, it's the G3 which wins. Now talking about the flash experience, if you're looking to take photos in low light, I mean the selfies in low light, it does help you in taking selfies with the front facing flash on the J5. So overall, if you look at the camera performance, we would say the Moto G3 wins here. It has better camera quality, as well as video recording is also better than the J5. Now talking about the battery performance, the Motorola Moto G3 comes with a 2470 mAh battery, while the Samsung Galaxy J5 comes with a 2600 mAh battery. Now both these devices offer pretty decent battery experience, and you can get at least a day of usage with a more or less average usage with social networking apps, email accounts and calls, a bit of gaming, and listening to music. You can get 1 day of usage, and if you're a casual user, you might end up getting more than a day on both these devices. So the battery performance on both these devices are pretty good. No real big issues on either of the devices, and both have decent performance in the mid-range category. So summing up, which is the better device to choose here? So we have talked about a lot of aspects. So the Moto G3 wins in a lot of areas. This includes the design and build, the software and performance, the camera, and the overall experience. It also has water resistant IPX7 certification, better storage, better RAM. Now where does the Samsung Galaxy J5 wins? It's the display. The Super AMOLED display looks pretty good, and also the battery capacity is slightly better than the Moto G3. So that was the areas where both these devices have edge over the other. Now talking about the pricing, the third generation Moto G is priced 11,999 for the 1GB RAM and 8GB variant, and it's priced 12,999 for the 2GB RAM and 16GB variant. So we have tested the 2GB RAM variant, and the Samsung Galaxy J5 is priced 11,999 for the 1.5GB RAM and 8GB combo. So now we would say if you are ready to spend 1K additional, definitely the Moto G third generation makes much better choice than the Samsung Galaxy J5. It's only the display where the third generation Moto G fails behind or falls behind the Samsung Galaxy J5. Rest all areas we would say the G3 is much better choice than the Samsung Galaxy J5. So that was a detailed comparison. So hope you like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to your YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.